So the topic of this lesson is word of mouth marketing. So I want to give an introduction to the concept of word of mouth marketing. I actually don't like saying word of mouth marketing because truthfully, word of mouth is not really a marketing strategy. Word of mouth, referrals, or whenever a new family comes in based off a word of mouth, that's really a result. So this is arguable. In this context, we're gonna call it a marketing strategy, but to make it a marketing strategy, there's some specific steps you can take to really transform word of mouth to being a result, to being more of an actual marketing strategy. Now, I would say that most of the schools we speak to, unless they're in a very particular situation where they have a very transient population, word of mouth usually results in, I would say, about 80% of new enrollments that come into a school. That's the number we see. Sometimes I talk to schools, they're as low as about 50%, again, because of their situation. But across the board, usually when we interview schools and we ask them where their enrollments are coming from, their new enrollments are coming, about 80% of them, from other families that have been enrolled in the school and suggesting that to their friends or to their family that they should put their child in your school as well. So that's not all that surprising, because Montessori schools are amazing and people see the results in their children. So this is just the result of a great product. So how do you then strategically create more word of mouth referrals? So the best way to create more referrals is to use a referral program. So this is something you've probably run into before. Maybe you've seen other schools do it. Essentially, you want to give your enrolled parents an incentive to share how amazing your school is, to make sure that not only are they doing that, but you also want to give them a simple process, something that's very easy for them to do, something that you don't have to rely on their memory to do either. So you want to use, ideally you want to use technology to do that, and there's some really simple ways of using digital forms that kind of automate the process. With a parent can fill out a very simple referral digital form that lets them input their people that they want to refer these other parents to, or it could be an invite to an open house. You want to make it really easy for parents to share an invite to that open house. So it could just be done by paper as well. So that's that part's up to you, but it's good to make it efficient. That way it'll be more likely that it works out and that people will actually engage the process. As well, you want to think about this as with your business hat on, and you want to apply some limitations, because number one, you want to make sure that these referrals are actually, you're able to track them, so that you don't have a family that's like, oh, I referred 10 parents and give me 10 times the incentives. So number one, you can make this a one referral incentive per family, and this might be really simply like a credit on next year's tuition. Again, give them a credit on next year's tuition, and that's having them thinking forward about next year. So it even helps with their retention. Number two, you want to make sure that it's really simple and clear what new families were referred by your existing families. So whether if you have a paper application form, they have to list the family that referred them, or again, you could use a digital process which just tracks that. It's very simple to set something like that up. That's what a lot of our customers do with our digital forms in Hubly. And then, so you also want to make sure that when you do offer that credit, you wait until that new family's tuition is actually received. So a referral incentive is only worth its salt if you actually, ultimately, again, strictly on the business side of things, you got that tuition in, and then that incentive is released to the parent. So word of mouth, again, just to recap, ultimately, the best way to create more word of mouth referrals is to just have a great school. But as we're seeing across the board, that used to be enough. 10 or 20 years ago, have a great school, word of mouth will keep you full with a waiting list. That's not the situation today for most schools anymore. There's just way too many options now, and so if you want to keep word of mouth, coming in and improve that incrementally, this year, design a referral program and offer a limited incentive, and make it really easy for parents to engage that process, ideally with digital tools rather than paper. You want to reduce the labor it takes for parents to offer those referrals. And that incentive also needs to be enticing enough, again, that they want to take the step and spend that time doing it and sharing it with their friends and family. So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about Facebook ads. Facebook is far and away the best place to be using your marketing budget to pay for ads to engage prospective parents for your school. I say that from having seen and testing various different ways to use digital marketing, different digital marketing platforms. The main reason that Facebook is so good is because the demographic that you're looking to engage with, generally speaking, women between the ages of 24 to 45, this is the largest and the most engaged demographic on Facebook. Also considering that not within that demographic, you're looking for people that can also generally afford to send their children to private school and value that, are conscious of child developmental stages. And these are the types of interests that Facebook, people in this demographic with these interests, Facebook is far and away the best place to engage them. Additionally, if you're going to test multiple marketing strategies or use multiple marketing strategies, obviously you want to make sure that wherever you spend your limited marketing budget, you're getting the best return on the dollar. And what I mean by that is, let's say you've got $1,000 to spend on marketing within the next 3 months, you want to make sure that you get the most inquiries for that $1,000. So that's just getting down to brass tacks. You want to make sure you're getting the best return on your investment. There's a couple things that you need to have set before you start using Facebook ads, and I would say this goes for any marketing strategy, certainly digital marketing strategies. You want to make sure that you're using an expert that really knows the ins and outs of the platform. So again, we're talking about Facebook. Now, Facebook is incredibly powerful as a marketing strategy, and I would say specifically for Montessori schools, again, because of the match of the platform and the demographic. In addition, Facebook has so much information about the people, the users in the platform. Just to compare it, if you were to think, what does, let's say, if you were to compare Google ads to Facebook ads, Google knows some information about the people that are doing searches. They know what they're searching for. They'll know where they're located. Generally speaking, that's about as much as they know. When you think about Facebook, Facebook knows somebody's interests, their friend connections, They know, for a lot of people, they know their level of education. For a lot of people, they know their net worth. These are things that really help you narrow down to the most, ideal prospective parents. So when you understand your market that you're trying to connect with, and obviously the more time you spend with your parents in your school or as a teacher, you're really going to understand the people that you're trying to connect with. So when you have that much information and you can really build a profile of your ideal prospective parent, then it makes sense to use a tool that has that much power behind it. At the same time, it's really easy to lose a lot of money on Facebook if you don't know what you're doing. So I want to caution you that this is not something that you want to do nonchalantly. You want to make sure that this is being done properly, and you're actually properly setting all the settings for every stage of the process, where when you take a prospective parent that engages one of your ads and lead them through all the way to basically come into the school for a tour, there's a number of things that you need to make sure are happening properly, or it's incredibly easy to waste money on Facebook ads, just as easy as it is to waste money on a newspaper ad where you really don't know what value you're getting out of it. And that's really the most important thing. One of the best parts about digital marketing in general is that you're able to track every interaction and understand how every stage of the marketing process is performing. And simply because you can track each stage and then test it and optimize it, that makes digital marketing far and away better than any print advertising you can do, because print advertising is just kind of, that's a marketing strategy that just works on a hope and a prayer. Digital marketing systems allow you to make very informed decisions and updates to your campaign. It's incredibly easy. It's very possible to take a Facebook campaign that's performing, let's say, moderately well, and with one small change, you test one element of the campaign and you can improve it by 400% overnight.